How are you, my dear students? I hope everyone is safe. Today I am going to start our new chapter. Basically, it's not a new chapter. I also explained in the previous class. Today I just explain our lesson 4 and 5. Here's the lesson 4 and 5. It has the balance of carbon and oxygen in the environment and the climate and weather and the differences between the climate and the weather. Today, our first lesson is the balance of carbon and oxygen in the environment. Here I draw the balance of carbon dioxide and oxygen. Here see the first structure is the atmosphere and here is the green tree and here also the sun. Okay, now everyone see the books. What's the meaning of the balance of carbon and oxygen in the environment? Here, you know that organisms take oxygen for the purpose of respiration. First structure is the organisms of the take oxygen for the purpose of respiration. After completion of the process, they release carbon dioxide in the environment. First structure, they also release the carbon dioxide in the environment. And this structure, I just think about this structure. Here's the respiration and the take oxygen and release the carbon dioxide for the respiration. The plants take carbon dioxide to manufacture their food in the process and they release oxygen. Here's this structure, they take carbon dioxide. Basically this structure we know the important structure in the earth. Basically I just explained about the photosynthesis. In this photosynthesis, here also the take the green plants the carbon dioxide and the process of the water and the last structure is the glucose and the oxygen and also the water. Please see the books. In this way, a balance is maintained between oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Basically, in this process, they also balance the oxygen and carbon dioxide. This balance in the atmosphere is very important. I just explained. Basically, this process is called the photosynthesis, and in this photosynthesis is the very important reaction in the earth. These two gases are essential for life. Here the two gases, basically these two gases, first structure is the carbon dioxide and another is the oxygen. Here these two gases are essential for life to understand the process of two gases. One has to understand carbon cycle. Carbon is needed for the formation of body structure of all organisms. Carbon comes from the carbon dioxide of the atmosphere. First structure I just explained. First structure is carbon and also the carbon dioxide. Plants prepare glucose and oxygen from water and carbon dioxide of the atmosphere in photosynthetic process. First structure is this structure is I just draw this, and this structure is the photosynthesis. And next structure is the glucose. Glucose is prepared by plants. Animals get carbon through food from the plants. This structure, again, this structure in the presence of carbon dioxide and water, and the last structure then the structure is made by the photosynthesis. Carbon from the body of organisms comes back to the atmosphere through three processes. Firstly, I just explained this structure. Firstly, plants and animals at the time of respiration break glucose to produce energy using oxygen from the atmosphere and release carbon dioxide. Second structure, again this structure is the secondary structure. Here the whole plants and animals are burnt. Carbon dioxide is produced and mixed up with the atmosphere. Thirdly, when plants and animal bodies are petrified by bacteria and fungi in the soil, they release carbon dioxide. Basically, this structure also the tree structure, and this tree structure also the release by the carbon dioxide. Okay. Now it is clear that the plants collect carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and deposit it in plant and animal bodies through production of glucose. Carbon from plants and animal body goes back to the atmosphere in the three ways. In this way, balance of carbon or carbon dioxide in the environment is maintained. Due to this balance, again, due to the imbalance of nature, the climate has been changed. We learned it in this chapter. Basically, in this form, and this structure is also the carbon cycle or the carbon dioxide cycle. Yes, the carbon dioxide cycle, this structure is the carbon dioxide to about the photosynthesis, and this structure is the released by the atmosphere. Our new topics, basically our new topics is the lesson 5, weather and climate. Here I also describe you about the example. Here, gusty wind may blow tomorrow from the northwest side of Dhaka and its surroundings. Throughout the major part of the day, the sky will be free from clouds. But in the evening, there is a possibility of accumulation of dark clouds in the northeast corner of the sky. Today, relative humidity of Dhaka was 60%. Today's highest temperature was 34 degrees Celsius at Kustia and lowest temperature was 24 degrees Celsius in Sylhet. Did you listen such bulletins at the end of radio or television news? What is the news about? What do we learn from such news? Is there any possibility of a storm or rain? Can we learn whether it will be hot or cold tomorrow? Yes. Usually the last part of the news contains the bulletin whether there is a possibility of rain or storm, what the day's temperature will be, how much rainfall was recorded, and in which places, or what was the highest and lowest temperature of the day. There are on weather bulletins. Is it possible to understand what weather is from the weather bulletin? Here, now I just explain about the weather. What is the weather? Weather means, please everyone remarks this the line. Here, weather means the condition of atmosphere for a short period in a particular area. Temperature and pressure of air, wind direction and speed, humidity or quantity of water vapors in the air, cloud, fog and rainfall, etc. make the weather. For example, when the highest temperature was 35 degrees Celsius, it means that the day's atmosphere was hot. When the highest temperature was 13, again, when the temperature was 13 degrees Celsius, it means that the day was cold. The sky was cloudy or day was foggy. These conditions indicate weather for a short period. Again, another structure is the climate. Here the climate, we used to say that today's weather was cold but it was too hot at night. Weather means change in no time. On the other hand, climate does not change suddenly. Yes, this one is also the difference between the weather and also the climate. Climate is the average result of many years' weather of an area. For example, we used to say that climate of Bangladesh, as usual, Bangladesh is hot and moist. It means in Bangladesh one feels hot and the air is wet. Climate of Russia is mainly cold. This statement indicates that Russia is cool down the year. Yes, this structure. Again, I also explain differences between weather and climate. Factors of weather and climate are basically the same. Temperature, air, pressure, humidity, relative quantity of water vapors, rainfall are the factors of weather and climate. When factors are same, what are the differences between weather and climate? You have already known the relationships between these two. Climate is, please everyone remarks these lines. Weather is actually the main result of weather for a long period. Now let us see that what the differences between weather and climate are. First line or the first difference is weather condition of a particular area for short period is called weather, and climate is the average result of many years weather of an area. Basically, weather is the one day and the climate is the many year. Second, weather may change within a short span of time, but climate does not change suddenly. When changes occur, it takes many years. Third, weather of nearby places may vary. For example, there was rain in Phulipur, but no rain in Borishal. Whereas usually climates of certain regions are the same, such as climates of Bangladesh, Thailand and West Bengal of India are similar. Here again our new topic is the change of weather. One day rising from the bed, you may see bright sun outside, but do not feel much hot. With the passing of time, temperature increased and you started sweating. Gradually clouds are formed and at one time the sun is covered with dark clouds. After some time, it started rains, cats and dogs. Do you know what's the meaning of cats and dogs? Yes, in the rains, this structure is the cats and dogs. When the rain stopped, the sky has become clear and the heat came down. Just think how many times the weather changed in a way. Change of the weather is a normal phenomenon. Why does weather change like this? Main role is played by the sun is weather change. Basically, it's also the important line. Basically, the sun in the weather change is the main role. Now, we shall see how heat of the sun plays role in changing of weather factors. First is the dependence of temperature of weather on solar heat. Second is the dependence of air pressure and wind of temperature. Dear students, I just explained only the two topics. One topic is the carbon cycle. Here I just draw the carbon cycle. Basically, this structure is the photosynthesis and this structure is the respiration, etc. etc. Today, that's all. Thank you.